What's on YouTube? It's PTT back at it with another Division video. Today we're taking a look at the final measure classified gear set for PTS Week 2. Now, before we go too far guys, I want to remind you that everything on the PTS is subject to change. And of course, if any of this does change in the coming weeks, then I will of course let you guys know. But for now, let's look at and talk about what we have currently. So, classified gear set number 1. Final measure. Let's look at all the bonuses first then. So the 2-piece will give you 25% exotic damage resilience. The 3-piece will give you 15% protection from elites. The 4-piece, when in range of a hostile grenade or mortars, defuse them and adds grenades to your inventory. Can happen once every 8 seconds. Now that was obviously the 2, 3 and 4-piece that we already know is final measure. It goes on with the classified set. The 5-piece will give you 15% extra EDR and another 15% protection from elites. The 6-piece then is where it gets interesting. When a grenade is diffused, the player and all group members within 30 meters gain a buff based on the grenade type that was diffused. So, if you defuse an EMP or shot grenade, you will get a skill power increase of 15% for 8 seconds. If you defuse a HE or incendiary grenade, you will get weapon damage increase by 15% for 8 seconds. And if you defuse a flashbang or tear gas grenade, you will get an armor increase by 15% for 8 seconds. Now, it is worth noting and showing agents that this defuse buff still works if you are in a down state. As you can see by the footage in the background, I'm in a down, but when a grenade comes in, that nade is diffused and the buff is awarded to the team. I also want to point out that there are now several visual indicators to let you know what buff has been applied. If we pull up a screenshot and zoom in, you can clearly see the firearms logo being displayed, and that lets myself and teammates know we have a weapon damage buff. Now, this is good for PvE, but also very handy when playing PvP, as you will be able to tell if the enemy agent has a buff or not. Now, on the surface of things, this does look like a very good classified set, but in practice, it's actually damn amazing. And so far, other than strikers, it is by far my favourite gear set to run in a team. The way in which you add buffs to teammates, it honestly is, guys, truly amazing. It kind of reminds me of 1.3 Reclaimer days. Now, as you will see by the footage in the background, we were running Falcon Lost on Heroic, and the thing was absolute breeze, right? No word of a lie, super easy. With the APC constantly firing HE rounds and the final measure diffusing them, the team and myself had an almost constant weapon damage buff of 15%. Now, what that actually means in terms of numbers is that my personal DPS went from 290,000 to 334,000. And as I've stated before, this buff is passed on to the entire team if you're within 30 meters. So, take into account the striker sets on the team that are already melting machines. Give those guys an extra 15% damage, and we were absolutely ripping through everything, right? Now, obviously, the 6-piece isn't the only thing that makes this set so good. In total, you get 30% protection from elites and 40% exotic damage resilience, right? That is also a very welcome touch because it means you can almost face tank an awful lot of high-end end game play. Obviously, end game, other than legendary, you know, most of the guys are elite, so that really helps. The EDR, we all know from the beginning, has also been one of them stats that is very handy for PvE and PvP. Now, obviously, I have only had a limited amount of time to test this set, but without a doubt, I personally, at the moment, consider it to be a PvE top tier team gear set. And I actually look forward to being able to put a set together when 1.7 actually arrives. Now, in the interest of making sure we cover everything, I think it's also wise to remind people that to actually activate all the talents on classified sets, you have to have all 6 pieces of that said classified set in your build, okay? So that means all 6 pieces have to be classified. You can't just have 6 pieces of final measure and only 3 of them being classified, 3 of them being non-classified. That doesn't work. All 6 pieces have to be classified gear sets to get the 5 and 6-piece bonus. Now, this will be tough because, you know, there's no guaranteed ways of getting any classified sets at the moment. So what I am actually recommending to people going into 1.7 if you're in a team, then you and your teammates kind of decide who's going to chase after what set, and you all kind of trade gear around in an aim to help each other complete your preferred set as quickly as possible. That's what we're going to do. That's what I recommend you guys do. Now, let's cover something else that's a bit of a must-know as well. That's the classified gear sets as they stand can be recalibrated twice. Okay, you can recalibrate 2 stats. This means that you should look very carefully at every bit of gear, because what at first glance might be a poor roll, with the ability to roll 2 stats could actually be a very good roll. So don't be too quick to get rid of any of the classified sets you might get, guys. Now again, I do want to stress, guys, that this is a PTS, right? Changes might happen, but for now, I actually want to place this gear set very high up on a tier list. Going forward with 1.7, I personally would be very happy to chase after this set. And, you know, I think that actually might be the weird line that I want to end this video on. Never did I actually think I would say to myself, hey, I want to chase final measure. But damn, when 1.7 drops and it takes me forever to get this set, I'm actually going to be fairly sad. So, yeah, I think it's one of those... They're trying to make gear sets a lot better now. They've definitely succeeded with this set. It is very interesting. It is very fun. If you then build your build correctly with your major stats, your minor stats, your weapon talents and things like that, you can keep very high damage output, have good skill power. Team synergy comes into it with what other people are running in a team. Honestly, guys, the endless potential coming with builds in 1.7 is going to be phenomenal, even though there are a few issues. I'm actually going to link a video in the description down below talking about some of those issues. Hopefully you guys will agree with me and agree with some of the fixes. Massive are aware of this. They've actually come back to me about the video, which is really, really nice. So, yeah. Now, one last thing to wrap up before we go. This goes live on the 12th. On the 13th, the PTS on consoles are going to go live. I'm going to be streaming PTS every single night over on twitch.tv/P3T3TT. Again, links will be in the description down below. Make sure to come on over. But if there is anything you guys would like to see tested, let me know in the comment section down below. I will make a list. I will try to put out as many videos as I can between the 13th and the 18th. Okay, on the 18th, the Destiny 2 beta goes live. I am going to be covering that. So, yeah, it's a busy couple of weeks. But for now, agents, thank you very much for watching the video. Let me know what you think, please, in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. There are plenty more Division videos coming your way. But until that next video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all soon.